it's me, Nikoleta, and I'm here to review your website and help you make it look more professional, help you clearly communicate your goals about what your product does, what it is, and how much it costs. Of course, also make your user sign up for a free trial. First, I want to mention that I really like your choice of dark theme, and as you can see, I'm using dark theme on my browser as well. And this is your advantage here, because everything on your website can be easily read. I really also like the choice of color for hovering the links from your menu. I also like the animation of the button here. One thing I want to mention is that this ghost button here, your designer would know, looks way too weak, dim, inactive compared to this one here on the right. And the power balance is kind of lost. I would advise you to use similar border color or make it a little bit stronger with a higher weight on the border, and maybe just make it more balanced compared to this one, because this contrast is huge right now. And I understand that you want predominantly your users to try the free trial, but signing in is also important for you, so you shouldn't over abuse the call to action button here. Also, what I want to mention is the wording try as free. I would advise you to use something like free trial, try for free, or try it for free, because this doesn't sound right or easy to read even. Try as free. I have never encountered this kind of wording, and it's a little bit weird, if you will. And also on the header, I see that there is a very thin line used to separate the header from the rest of the page, which is great, but it's not visible. And I would advise you to make it a little bit more visible so you can have a clear separation from the rest of the page, because now it's almost gone, but it's there, so what's the point, right? I would advise you to make it a little bit thicker and more visible. I can see that you have used the left space of the website pretty well, but not the right one. Why here is empty? I would advise you to use your name, funnel, the most important word here that communicates your business. And on the right, implement some kind of animation, video, graphics, illustrations, some kind of gallery or slideshow showing what your business is about, what it does. Communicate those words, drag and drop, or automation, business, or even just use simple illustrations like a funnel and implement the words that you have used along the way, like all-inclusive, all-in-one. I even saw it somewhere here down. Use these few seconds, which are approximately from 5 to 10 seconds from the user attention, and use them well. Catch their attention from the get-go and use this space here on the right so they can clearly understand what your website is about and what is your service, of course. What I want to mention is that the user doesn't want to think, the user doesn't want to read. So this amount of text here on the left is good. It's really good. It's simple, it's clear, and it's not overwhelming. But on the right, it's missing the visuals, the easy way to comprehend and assimilate some kind of information. Pictures are worth 1,000 words, right? So if you use even a video, make sure, if it's a presentation of some sorts with an audio, to mute the audio so the user have the choice to interact with the video and put the volume and adjust it as he likes. And also, if it has a muted audio, to have the subtitles. This button looks okay. 14-day trial, it's good, the animation is nice, the color choice is good, but these bullet pointers here, the blue arrows that are kind of play buttons, are kind of indicating that there's something should happen. Like I can click on them and something will happen, but nothing does. So either make them interactive in some kind of way, like show something, rotate them, and kind of list under here some kind of additional information, or just change the whole view of the bullets here. Also, what I want to mention is the button here for the chat. It's good. I would suggest only to, if this implementation of the chat option is yours, like in-house created, to move the online indicator a little bit down, like on the left or on the right, or a little bit outside if you want it to be up. Right now it doesn't seem that it's positioned in a correct way. I would see it here somewhere, probably. I'll visualize it here, and or here somewhere, I don't know. Experiment with this if you think it's important for you. I also want to say that the sections here are having a huge space in between. Not this one here, but this one here has a huge amount of space between the trial button and the heading. So I would advise you to either make the heading go up a little bit and minimize the distance in between, or use this distance as a creating a button with an arrow that indicates that there is more content below. I think it will look well. How it works. I want to mention that your cards here again look very simple and plain, which is good. I mean, if this is the vision of your whole platform and website, let it be that way. I just wish you use the consistency of making certain words bold across all cards, just for the sake of consistency, you know, simple user experience, the way appointment calendars and other words are bolded. Also, I would advise you to choose and experiment with the alignment of the text. Try it maybe to be justified or left orientated or right orientated, and see what it's more easier to read. Also, the letter spacing would be a good thing to experiment with, and also make the rows maximum 5 or 6, like in this card here, so it can be easy to read and not to be too overwhelming. This concept here is good, and also maybe use some visualizing here, small icons or graphics or anything that can give the user a clear idea how it works. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. I read it Funnel-G, but probably it's Funnel-G or any other way you would pronounce it. I'm sorry. I like this text a lot. This is clear and really well communicated message. I like it even more than this one because it's simple and easy to understand. Also for the users would be a great message to be communicated and to give a clear understanding what your platform is about. Before and after, I think also you can implement some kind of visuals here so it can make it easier for the user to comprehend what will happen if he uses your service. I like the way the text here is bolded, important information. Just make sure that it's not too long like a whole sentence or half a sentence, just maybe few words. Also avoid underlying words like this, because this doesn't suit your homepage style. As you can see, there's no such thing along the way, and only this stands out. Also the wording here with the 3 dots, it just sounds and it looks out of a style, out of the concept. Also, either use only capital letters or just bold the word profits, or in general use the color that you use for here and for the button. So you can catch the focus of the user with that one color, but no underlining. Build a 7-figure online business of your dreams. Okay, that's good message. The cards. Again, simple, clear. I like the naming, solopreneur and entrepreneur. Maybe numbers or signs will indicate this clear difference between the solo and ultra, but this is just an idea. For online business owners with just a single brand to market. Okay. 1 website, 3 websites. Okay, I see the difference here, but the amount of listed items is the same. They are aligned in the same. So on a first look, there is no difference basically, and it's not easy to see. Also, I would advise you to use bullets here. When you choose a plan in any other website, you probably have encountered the way how they list one next to each other, but each of them has bullets, and it's very clearly communicated why the more expensive plan is actually a better option for the user than the other plan. And the most expensive one is actually in the end cheaper than the cheaper one. But of course, this is just my advice and suggestion. Experiment with that and see how it looks for you. This button is too big. This button is out of proportions. This button screams, I want to be pressed, and it's too much. I would advise you to split it in 2 and put it under this one, this price, and under this price. I know it leads the same way to the same page, but every single one that is named that way does the same thing, so there is no problem with that. I just want you to put and see how it will look 2 buttons under each price and give the user an option, because that way it's not clear how you actually give the user a choice. And with having 2 buttons, we actually give the user the idea that he actually has a choice to choose from the one plan to another. And this here, no credit card required, cancel anytime, is a really good message, but I would recommend to take it out of the button, since it takes away space from the main call to action text, which is starting the free trial. I would advise you to take out this text here and put it under as an asterisk or a star as important information below the cards. Also, maybe implement it here on the side next to this button, so if nobody goes down here to check the prices and the plans, he can see clearly on the right side here that there is no credit card required, which will make it much more easier for the user to be willing to click the button. Now what I want to mention here is that this text and the color here, it's out of place. What I mean by that is that I have seen it here in the menu, but didn't encounter it nowhere here or here or here. So it's not consistent and it's just not making sense. So either implement that same color font and make it a little bit bigger or thicker and implement it to the others, or stick with the white and maybe just highlight specific words. Here is your message about why people and customers are loving your product and service. Connectivity, security, simplicity. Again, some visuals will be really helpful here, especially for security, simplicity, and maybe using similar style of text formatting to the other cards as well. I love how easy it is here to read and simple and clear. I like this. Also, maybe just bold few words and make it look more interesting. Frequently asked questions. Okay. What I noticed here is that the text color is different and really hard to read. I have a really good site, but this is really hard to read. This is better, but I would advise you to stick with the white color, not the gray, or if it's a gray color, to be lighter gray. And yes, if I'm scanning your website and not interested in it, just checking it, I would also advise you to bold numbers or important information so the user can get interested in the text and actually stop and read what it is about. Make it consistent, as I said before. Use the same color on the left and the right and make the text easy to read. I would also advise you to make the spacing here a little bit bigger because the text looks cramped, and the cards to be aligned because they have the same number of questions on the left and on the right. I will advise you to run an accessibility test on your website and see what is your score, and also make certain parts of your website more easy to read. Again, too big space between the heading and the last question here. This is a really good message here. Also, I would advise you to make this button a little bit smaller. It's too big, and I like how it's animated actually. One more thing, I see here that there is collision between the sections. Maybe, I don't know if you can see it from links here on the left. Do you see those dots here, lines? Check it out and see what it is about. I just have noticed it. And yeah, the links here are not easily communicated that are clickable. Maybe use this function here, this approach here, make them go pink on hovering. Also, the icons here can be animated to grow bigger, for example. And yes, adding another line here for separation of the footer from the header and the rest of the page would be a good thing, but that's my opinion. All in all, your website looks already professional, just needs a little bit more visualizing and clear communication of its messages and tweaking of the power balance between different buttons and making some text a little bit more easy to read. I hope my feedback was helpful, and if you have any more questions, please let me know. Have a nice day.